Tonight's featured matchup showcases Felix Trinidad of Puerto Rico taking on Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker of the United States in a historic welterweight clash between power and precision. The fight footage used in this video is sourced from the channel Alleyway Boxing. Full credit goes to the original source, and the official link is provided in the description below. This video is created strictly for educational and analytical purposes, offering commentary and breakdown of the techniques, strategies, and ring IQ displayed during this bout. For more epic boxing highlights and classic fight analysis, make sure to visit and subscribe to Glory Punch Highlights. Now, let's step into the action.
The moment the bell rings inside Madison Square Garden, the atmosphere transforms from anticipation to pure electricity as Felix Trinidad advances with the confidence of an undefeated champion, and Pernell Whitaker settles into his southpaw stance, loose, sharp, and calculating. Trinidad immediately establishes his presence with a stiff, authoritative jab, snapping it toward Whitaker's face to measure distance and disrupt rhythm. Whitaker responds with subtle head movement, dipping at the waist and sliding just outside the line of fire, attempting to make the younger fighter reach and overcommit. But Trinidad doesn't chase recklessly. He cuts the ring with educated feet, stepping laterally to remove escape routes and forcing Whitaker into tighter spaces than he prefers. Early exchanges are tactical yet tense, each punch carrying intention. Whitaker flicks quick counters, tapping Trinidad with sharp left hands and pivoting away, but the champion's jab keeps finding its mark more consistently than expected. The crowd reacts to every clean connection, sensing that while Whitaker's finesse is impressive, Trinidad's punches carry a heavier, more dangerous authority that could change everything in a single moment. As the rounds progress, the physical intensity escalates dramatically. Trinidad begins sitting down harder on his right hand, driving it straight through the guard with conviction. He mixes in left hooks to the body, thudding shots that echo in the arena and subtly sap Whitaker's energy. Whitaker attempts to answer with veteran savvy, increasing lateral movement and doubling his jab to regain control of distance. For moments, he makes Trinidad miss spectacularly, rolling under hooks and countering with crisp combinations that remind everyone why he is considered one of the slickest defensive fighters of his era. Yet even during Whitaker's best stretches, Trinidad's pressure never truly fades. The Puerto Rican champion remains patient, stalking behind his jab, forcing exchanges at mid-range, where his power becomes most effective. CompuBox numbers begin to reflect a subtle shift, Trinidad landing the more impactful shots, even if Whitaker stays competitive in volume. The fight evolves into a grueling chess match layered with violence, where timing, positioning, and mental composure are just as important as raw power. Then comes the explosive turning point that shakes the foundation of the arena. Trinidad feints with the jab, drawing a slight reaction, and fires a perfectly timed straight right hand down the center. Whitaker stumbles backward and crashes to the canvas, a rare and shocking sight for a fighter known for his defensive brilliance. The crowd erupts in disbelief as the referee administers the count. Whitaker rises with determination etched across his face, nodding to show clarity, but the knockdown has altered the emotional momentum of the contest. Trinidad remains composed, resisting the urge to rush wildly. Instead, he tightens his attack, doubling the jab and firing compact combinations designed to break resistance methodically. Whitaker responds with courage, landing sneaky counters and attempting to re-establish rhythm, yet the psychological edge now belongs to the champion. Every time Trinidad steps forward, there is a sense of danger, as though another perfectly placed right hand could end the night at any second. Midway through the bout, Whitaker digs deep into his veteran instincts and begins making subtle adjustments. He increases his body attack, stabbing left hands into Trinidad's midsection in an effort to slow the relentless forward march. For brief stretches, he reclaims momentum, slipping shots and landing quick 1-2 combinations that snap Trinidad's head back and draw applause. The fight becomes rougher inside, shoulders bumping, forearms grinding, both men working in close quarters. Trinidad's corner urges discipline, reminding him not to abandon structure in pursuit of a knockout. The champion responds by recalibrating his distance, stepping back half a pace to create punching runs before firing his right hand with renewed precision. Whitaker's head movement, once constant and fluid, begins to slow slightly under the cumulative pressure. Though still dangerous and capable of landing clean counters, he now absorbs more than he did in the early rounds. The battle grows more punishing with every exchange, each round adding layers of fatigue and consequence. As the championship rounds approach, the contest takes on an even greater sense of urgency and danger. Pernell Whitaker, understanding the stakes, refuses to fade quietly into the later stages. He digs deep into his experience, planting his feet more often and firing sharp left hands over Trinidad's jab, trying to reclaim respect and momentum. For brief flashes, the old brilliance shines through. He slips a right hand by inches, counters cleanly, and pivots away with veteran calm. But standing his ground comes at a cost. Felix Trinidad responds with chilling composure, tightening his guard and stepping in behind a piston-like jab that keeps snapping Whitaker's head back. Trinidad begins to mix his attack beautifully, stabbing the body before launching straight rights upstairs, each one thrown with full conviction. The exchanges grow heavier, more punishing, less about finesse and more about willpower. Whitaker's legs are not as lively now. His head movement, once constant, appears measured and selective. Trinidad senses it and increases the tempo, pressing forward like a freight train that refuses to slow. The crowd roars as both men trade in the pocket, leather thudding against flesh, neither willing to surrender the center of the ring. Every second feels dramatic, as if one more perfectly placed shot could end it. Yet Whitaker's pride keeps him firing back, determined to leave everything in the ring. When the final round unfolds, exhaustion and determination collide in a breathtaking finish. Whitaker rallies with everything he has left, throwing combinations and bursts, trying to create one last defining moment. He lands a crisp counter that briefly excites the crowd, but Trinidad answers immediately with a crushing right hand that reasserts control. The champion's discipline stands out. No reckless charges, no desperate swings, just measured pressure and calculated aggression. He continues stepping back just enough to create space before driving his punches home, demonstrating the maturity of a fighter who understands both power and patience. As the final seconds tick away, the garden rises to its feet, acknowledging the courage displayed by both warriors. The bell sounds, and the two men separate, battered yet unbroken. Whitaker has shown heart and resilience against one of the division's most dangerous punchers, but the knockdown and the heavier artillery clearly belong to Trinidad. Moments later, the scorecards confirm what the energy in the arena already suggests: unanimous decision, and still the IBF welterweight champion of the world, Felix Tito Trinidad, is a victory forged through discipline, power, and unwavering belief, a performance that reinforces his dominance while marking one of the most physically demanding nights of Whitaker's legendary career.